everybody, I'm Blaze Rebecca and welcome to World and Economica. Literally have no clue what this is about, but see, like this is episode 1 apparently, and there's an episode 2 and an episode 3. And I guess well, I guess we'll go with English, because I can only read that language. In the past, people really believed that there was a doorway to an alternate world on the dark side of the moon. Okay, what? This dark side could not be seen from Earth, and it was only a few decades ago that images were successfully taken of it. Oh, lovely! We're taking pictures of the dark side of the moon. As Earth had been visited, mapped and divested of all its mysteries and secrets, it was made painfully clear that there were no rabbits on the moon, no traces of aliens, and certainly no pieces of portals to alternate worlds. Well, I would hope not. I mean, I know it's something you would hope for, but I'm kind of glad that that's not a thing. This was perhaps why the journey to the dark side of the moon was through the vastness of space was so fascinating for me when my parents took me there as a kid. Oh, what a great childhood if you went there as a kid. Mankind never set a foot upon any of the glittering stars that were arrayed before me. When I realized that, I felt a desire to leave my footprints where no one had gone before. It wasn't until after I learned more about the world that it had dawned on me what a foolhardy dream that was. Regardless, it was something that shook to the core so much I nearly wet my pants. Lovely. Afterwards, everything before me became a stepping stone in my mind, towards my dream of setting foot where no one had gone before. I had no time to waste. If I didn't act now, then someone else would leave their footprints there first. Faster, faster, much faster. The population continued to grow, and time ruthlessly slipped away. Only a handful could be a vanguard of it all. Not a day went by where I didn't ponder what I could see. It would be a new frontier where familiar places, customs, and the past would not exist. A frontier where every small movement I made would become part of history. The footprints of the first humans on the moon could still be found preserved in the Sea of Tranquility Memorial Hall. Those footprints told uncountable tales. Footprints left in the sand measuring just shy of 30 inches. Even so, they were amazing footprints that sent shivers down my spine. Okay. Okay, it went to white and now it's dark. Oh! With a click, my mobile PC turned on. I woke to the roaring of the hard drive. Since I had fallen asleep curled up in my chair clutching my PC, it was difficult to get my body to move. My body felt so stiff I was sure that a careless motion would break something. God damn it! Even so, I rather enjoyed the sensation of slowly stretching out my limbs from this cramped position after waking up. It made me feel alive and truly let me know that I was awake. I rolled my arms to move, then my legs. Although hardly efficient, this was how I chose to do things, and was what happened when I woke up every morning. It was a satisfying action, and one I never had a chance to savor before I left home. On top of the table, I had left my rather crude diode lamp on, and a coarse layer of fat that had formed on the surface of the leftover coffee in my dirty cup. Ew! Beside my cup was a half-eaten chocolate bar, which I reached for and crammed into my mouth. I swallowed the unpleasantly sweet chunk as the PC finished booting up. At that moment, my brain went to work as I verified that I had my wallet, memory cards, and bag on me, and that none of it had been stolen while I was asleep. It appeared that I had survived the previous night. Only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. Thank God. However, in order for me to survive today, I would have to make some money. It had been 3 months and 12 days since I left home. Well, model person right here, I guess. Telling myself that I wasn't just some well-to-do kid pretending to be a ruffian, I flipped open the organic display. Okay, let's see this display. Oh! I was staying in a cheap net cafe. It was a good-for-nothing establishment that leached Wi-Fi from another shop, and its customers were of equally questionable quality. Great place! You'll love it here! Oh, hi! Hey kid, a fine morning, isn't it? As I left the booth to go wash my face, an unkempt clerk greeted me as he played the game at the counter. I figured he wasn't so much being friendly as much as he was making sure I knew he was watching me. The only entrance and exit were next to the counter, and off to the side on the wall were the words "Everyone pays, no freeloaders." Even though the set excuse for building was built in a sewage canal, money was always collected. Really? This is a great place to be. The only thing that concerned me when I left home was finding a place to sleep. Though I had some money, I couldn't really change my appearance. A fine morning? I'm not fond of your sarcasm, Earth Dog. The clerk's face twisted into a smile at my retort. Ho ho! It is unfortunate to not know what a real morning looks like, since the weather here is just a computer program. He said that lately as he returned his gaze to his game. Wait, what? He seemed to be from Earth, though I wonder if he came to the moon as unskilled labor, got fired, and now appears as an outcast of some sort. Wait, are we all actually on the moon? Why don't you head back to Earth then? At my words, he turned briefly to glance at me and laughed sarcastically. Things are a bit better here than down there anyhow. That's how he responded. Moon scum. Without responding, I went to the washroom. The name's Yoshiharu Kawarura. I was born and raised in this lunar city, so I was genuine moon scum. Well, okay. I returned to my booth, entered my password, and booted up the tool application on my computer. Okay, life on the moon. Lovely. A welcome screen, whose only good point was its friendliness, was allowed by a merciless and desolate landscape, much akin to the surface of the moon. Countless lines of word flickered on the screen. I imagine the kind of effect you'd get if you took a picture of the undeveloped part of the moon's surface with a low-res camera. The screen showed a session of the Lunar Stock Exchange. This was the kind of place for moon scum like me to make a living. I'll get rich without needing to break a sweat. I didn't have enough time to earn an honest living. I took a deep breath and went about business. This must be the main character. This must be him. Downward revision for the first fiscal quarter of CK Bio. Possibility of an investigation into Emerald Industries over suspicions of collusion. And the phone's not fucking ringing. The board of directors of the Lunar Central Bank. With one eye on that stream of news, I focus on managing 220 stocks, picking up those with large price fluctuations. For instance, if one stock had moved 10% on the previous day and another had moved 1%, there was probably a high chance that the stock had moved 10% moved by 1% today. Okay, I don't know, but I would trade it on that notion alone. Putting into consideration the mood of the market based on the news, really? Like, if you're not gonna leave a message, then why bother phoning in the first place? That was probably a jackass phoning. I would buy stocks with large fluctuations within the turbulent up and down movement of the price. I could extract some profit, which is why I occupied myself with between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. lunar time. Between those hours, the only things that went into my mouth were food that I could eat one-handed and drinks. To be honest, I'd be so engrossed in trading that breaks were uncommon. Even if I had the free time to take a break, I'd rather use it to look at my screen to grasp price fluctuations and do some trades. After all, a difference of a few minutes when making the call to buy or sell could easily mean the difference between gaining or losing 1 or 2%. My war chest was 72,000 mools. Your war chest? What? 1% of that came out to 700 mools. It's like mools money? A store clerk here would make 7 mools an hour at best. This was a place where a public school teacher's monthly starting salary was 1,200 mools, so I could make in a few minutes what they'd make in a month. Of course, over the course of a day's trading, some people would win and others would lose. But I was on the winning streak of all streaks, and before I knew it, my seed of money of 1,000 mules had ballooned to 72 times. 72 times that. The one and only time I did honest, hard labor in my life was to build that seed money. Since then, I've just been building my assets through these trades. While the gains were a little less than what they used to be, the greater your assets grew, the faster they grew, so it didn't worry me. It'd be what they call a snowball effect. I'd never seen snow before, but I'd seen videos of Earth before, and thus was familiar with it. Wow. I decided that I was going to make even more money and then live in the center of this lunar city. It's a place where tons of ridiculously smart people were gathered. It's said that 70% of this world's wealth was held by the people there. Wow, this is really futuristic, isn't it? I'd live it up there, and then... The back of my head was high on these kinds of delusions as I performed trade after trade like a man possessed. That's why it took me a while to notice. Uh-oh. I finally did after I got smacked on the head. Oh! Yo, kid. I turned around to see that clerk from before standing in front of the booth's open door. What, you want money? Since when did this place become prepay? Or what, was it something else? Was making money not allowed here? What do you want? I'm busy. I'm gonna call him Haru, I guess. As I glared at him, the overly skinny, blear-eyed clerk let out a tired sigh. That's your reply? I can't tell you that the police are on their way to gather up the street urchins and uh-oh. Before the clerk finished his sentence, my PC had been closed and thrown into my bag. Hey, wait! The employee grabbed my shoulder as I tried to push him aside and exit the booth. Though he was thin, he was still muscular, strong enough to remind you that he was an adult. Still, I always kept a set amount of money in my breast pocket for times like this. I grabbed it and thrust it into his hands. Keep the change. I put on my hat, shouldered my bag, and ran down a narrow corridor. Wondering what was going on in the booth, a bunch of guys who looked like they just mumbled useless replies to any police questioning peeked through the cracks from their booths, wondering if someone had been arrested. Uh-oh. Whoa! Wait, what? Oh. After sliding past the dirty counter, I made it to the store's even filthier exit. The chipped-away paint and rust made the already cramped building feel even more claustrophobic. Cool. There's a drink machine there. Need a drink? I ran straight down the hallway towards the open air. Whoa. Jeez, I don't know how I feel about that, but this is cool, I guess. There were stairs if I turned left at the end of the hall, but I had never had any plans to use them in the first place. Oh, so we're just gonna be badass and jump? Without a moment's hesitation, I kicked off the floor, jumping as high as I could. Passing over the concrete wall, my body flew out over the street. Whoa! Dude, I know you're on the move, but seriously. Because the cafe was on the 5th floor of the building, there was a heck of a view below me. And possible death below me as well. I jumped towards the wall of the building opposite me and then kicked off from that wall, aiming back towards the wall of the first building. Once the sole of my foot hit a pipe on the wall, I jumped straight up with all my strength and resolve. Human genes have been fine-tuned for living on Earth over millions of years. So with some weight training, anyone could perform feats like these on the moon, where the gravity was lower. Oh! What you couldn't do was allow yourself to miss your daily training. Ah. Jumping from wall to wall, I quickly reached the 14th floor of the building next door. Jeez! How many times did you have to jump? You've gotta be out of breath by now. I guess my heart rate did go up a bit. I glanced down to see a pair of blue uniformed policemen looking bored as they tapped their batons on their shoulders and climbed the stairs. Seemed that clerk wasn't playing a prank on me when he gave me that tip. I already paid my thanks to him when I handed him that money, though. By now, he should probably have already used the change from it to kick back with a store-bought beer. Of course. For a moment, I opened up my bag in the hallway and flipped open my PC screen. I ran off the middle of a trade, and so my position hadn't changed. I should be able to get at least a weak wireless connection out here. If I were lucky, prices would have risen and I'd be home free. But usually at times like this... Ugh, figures. After hanging my head in disappointment, I closed out my losing positions and called it a day. Whoa! Nothing good could come from wandering around downtown in the middle of the day. After jumping from one building to the next, I decided to walk down a deserted hallway towards my favorite Chinese restaurant. Okay. It was a time of day when most people my age would be at school, so walking around carelessly would get you chased down by the cops before you knew it. Until you turned 18, the legal age here, it was mandatory that you belonged to some sort of educational institution. Well, how old are you, Haru? Some people would say that this was a good thing, while others grumbled something about government-funded programs. I fell into neither camp. My way of dealing with systems I didn't like was to quietly escape them, not to loudly criticize them. On that note, this area, with all of its complicated passages and floor elevation changes, it's not odd to see the 7th floor of one building be next to the basement of another, was convenient for people like me. Not to mention the overgrown vegetation here and there that acted as good cover. These plants weren't originally included in the city plans, but we had leaked out one of the many lunar laboratories where they were messing with their genes. And I think I'm going to save here, and I'll be back with more. See ya!